Brad, Mark talked pretty longly about Keyshawn Silver. What have you seen so far out there in the field?
Yeah, it's only for those D linemen. It's only the first day in pads, but encouraged, by his attitude. Obviously, his size, is something that's desirable in what we're hunting. He's got length and girth, and he's got a willingness to learn and put time in and work, and he's just got a really good personality. You guys are going to really love getting to know him, and excited to have him part and ready to watch him compete, and push for some playing time.
Do you notice the difference in pads today in getting out there?
Yeah, I mean, you always know a difference, and it was a little bit of ebb and flow throughout practice. I thought today, there were some periods where I thought the defense looked good. I thought some periods we looked sluggish, and the offense looked like they had more energy. And I thought we closed solid, but like in that last period, I thought the offense came out, fired up and kind of punched the guys in the nose, and they had to sort of dig themselves out, which is good. You want to see those guys have to go through some adversity, through spring, through individual practices, and see how they respond and how they rally, and because that's going to happen. There's going to be games that you're ready, you're fired up, you feel good, and then all of a sudden they drive down, they score on the first drive, and then so how do you respond after that?
How's the JQ sounding in cornerback with you all, and what has he kind of shown so far?
Yeah, I think he's getting out. Yeah, I think we're getting around to, we're going to ask every transfer that came in. They're a whole sort of, they're settling in into our defense, into what we're expecting. They're going to make mistakes, and we understand that. But what I do think we have here is I think we have a strong culture throughout the team, and then defensively specifically, that we've got enough guys that have been here that have brought those guys, those transfers into the fold. They understand what the expectations are. And the expectation is that everything and all playing time is earned. Nothing is given. I mean, you look at every single transfer we've ever brought in here, and they did not start out at the top of the depth chart. They had to earn everything that they got. And that's the way we'll continue to do it.
Just getting one of the old heads,
I'll come right back to you.
Okay.
Promise.
Just in general, what do you like about those corners and that competition this spring?
Well, obviously, I think we've got some length back, in those corners now. Drew and Max, may not be as long as say J-Rob or JQ or Jansen. But they've got extreme twitch and really loose hips. So we've got a variety in there, some guys that can play in some different spots, and it'll give us some versatility. But it's going to just be a really competitive room. I don't think there's anybody right now that's necessarily separated and said this is the clear-cut guy or the clear-cut 2 or the clear-cut 3. Like, it's going to go all the way through spring, and I have a feeling this battle is going to go all the way until game 1 and even throughout the season. And it's nice to have, depth, and especially at that position and really at any position. But I feel good about sort of the long-term outlook there, but it's a long way to go.
There's a lot of part of the last season. Dinkins seems to be coming on pretty strongly. What do you see with him so far, and how is one workouts going? That's the first game.
Yeah, I think this is the kind of the first time for Dink that there's kind of a comfort level for him that, okay, I understand what I have to do, and I understand what the technique that Coach Stu was asking of me. And so again, and you talk about long and athletic, and I think we have 3 noses right now, with Dink and with Josiah Hayes, who's played plenty of reps, and Keyshawn. Like, okay, I feel good about that position. Now, we may not have as many snaps as we've had in the past, but I think as a unit that position could be a strong point for us.
Versatility, is there going to be some versatility with those guys being able to play somewhere else, in the line?
In the front, we'll see. I mean, I think Dink and Key have the ability, to slide in certain scenarios, to slide out to maybe play some 4 eyes. But I think we've got some guys out there that are good players. So I like how that room is built right now. I like the energy in that room. And I'm going to lean on those guys. I went into that room specifically and I said, hey, listen, of any room probably on defense, we probably have more guys with college snaps in the D-line room than anywhere else. And so you think about that position and then safeties, right, are the two positions where we probably have the most. And so I'm going to lean on them, and I'm expecting a lot of them. And Coach Stu always demands of those guys, so it don't matter who's in there. So
does it allow you to do anything different, or maybe a little extra when you got guys with the traits that like Keyshawn and Dion have, lining them up together?
Do I do anything different? Is
Or
there reason?
do they offer you any?
Oh, do they
ability?
offer the? Yeah, well, shoot. Hopefully, everybody offers something, and depth and versatility gives you flexibility, and it gives us the ability to try some different things. Have some different lineups, present some different fronts. Try to stress an offensive line different ways when you have those guys. When you can have depth at linebacker, outside linebacker, you can present some different things. You can stress offenses, and I think that's ultimately the goal of how we're trying to manage this roster defensively is get a bunch of long, girthy individuals that are as athletic as possible. Obviously in the back end, guys that are long and can run. Clog zones, play with vision. We can jump and play man when it's needed. But we know who we are, and we're not going to change from that too much. Like we are, our core is our core. Now we're going to have change-ups, and we're going to have those chances to throw in mixers. But we know what our identity is.
Brad, when JJ decided to come back, what was the message to him in terms of this is what you need to do to get in that, high NFL draft pick?
Yeah, I mean, the message to JJ, and he knows, and he's the one that brought it to me, is consistency. Is consistency of effort, weight, strength, like everything matters. And it doesn't just matter 1 week or 2 weeks. It matters every day, every practice, every weightlifting session, every time you got a chance to be a leader. And that was, everybody always asks, with Josh Allen or all those guys, and it's like, hey, listen, for those that weren't around, which were really now on this team nobody, right? It was the daily focus to be the best and to be great. And I think that light bulb has gone off for him. And we had a moment at the end of practice, he took over. And I went up to him and I said, that is what we're talking about. You have the ability to just take over a practice, a game, and that's what guys do. And we need him to do that. And but it stems from consistency. It can't be, I only do it in one game. You want 17 sacks in a season like Josh had, then you have to do it every single game. Every single drive, they should feel you. And he knows it.
And obviously, Trevor and De'Aaron played really well last year, but how do you feel about the depth outside of them in the inside linebacker?
Yeah, that's something that we've got to build. Like that is a big question mark, And listen, those two played well for us, but they both know that they can play so much better than they played. And again, consistency is important. And so, yeah, that's one room that we're going to have to build that depth, and we're going to have to build consistent run fits, pass drops, everything. There's so much we put on those guys, and obviously we've lost thousands of snaps out of that room. But I like the way they're progressing so far through the first 3 practices, and we're going to need all 15 of them.
Time for one more. Anybody else? Everybody good? All right.